So you want to be normal. So you just want to be like everybody else that roams the world, not knowing the power that's in them.
I think I feel fear quite strongly. So it's not as though I just have the absence of fear. I feel it quite strongly.
There is one habit that I have adopted in the last 3 years that has fundamentally changed me as a business person.
Want to be happy? Build a life, not just a business.
Living that believe in life. Out here living that believe in life. Every day we living that believe in life. Hustle like we living that believe in life. Living life, yeah, so we grinding it out. Every single day we be grinding it out. Hustle like we living that believe in life, oh. That believe in life, oh.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You've got Michael Jordan level talent at something. So today, let's live your best belief life and learn the 5 habits that are holding you back and how to get rid of them. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with habit number 1. You watch Netflix with David Goggins.
Do you ever have a day where you just think, I can't be asked to do anything? I'm not going for a run, I'm not stretching, I'm doing nothing.
Every day.
Yeah. So you have the thought, but you don't have the day.
Every day.
Do you ever let yourself have a day where you just watch Netflix?
Never, because
Some
guess
good shit
what?
on Netflix.
I'm haunted. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. There may be some days I get up with poopy pants, and I'm like, you know what, man? F this, man. Like, what am I training for?
Yeah.
I have no race on the docket. Why am I having this such a structured life? Why? And I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm done. I retire every day.
Yeah.
I'm done with this shit. And I sit around and I say, okay. And then this is my thought process. So you want to be normal. So you just want to be like everybody else that roams the world, not knowing the power that's in them. Being fine with being mediocre. You want to go back to who you were, huh, David? I'm like, F that, man.
And you have that conversation with yourself every day?
Not every day, it's those bad days.
Yeah.
It's those bad days. I see a whole bunch of people walking around out here who have no idea how talented they truly are. And I'm talking about talent, like some God-given ability. Talent that sometimes you have to hone, and you have to work on, and you have to harness yourself. And they just walk around just on their phones, just clueless to how powerful they are.
Habit number 2, you let fear stop you with Elon Musk.
You are unusually fearless and willing to go in the face of other people telling you something is crazy. And I know a lot of pretty crazy people, you still stand out. Where does that come from, or how do you think about making a decision when everyone tells you this is a crazy idea? Or where do you get the internal strength to do that?
Well, first of all, I'd say I actually think I feel fear quite strongly. So it's not as though I just have the absence of fear. I feel it quite strongly. But there are just times when something is important enough, you believe in it enough, that you do it in spite of the fear.
So speaking of important things.
Like, people shouldn't think, people shouldn't think, well, I feel fear about this and therefore I shouldn't do it. It's normal to feel fear. Like, you'd have to do something mentally wrong if you didn't feel fear.
So you just feel it and let the importance of it drive you to do it anyway?
Yeah, actually, something that can be helpful is fatalism, to some degree. If you just accept the probabilities, then that diminishes fear. When starting SpaceX, I thought the odds of success were less than 10%, and I just accepted that actually probably I would just lose everything. But that maybe would make some progress if we could just move the ball forward. Even if we died, maybe some other company could pick up the baton and keep moving it forward, so that would still do some good. Yeah, same with Tesla. I thought the odds of a car company succeeding were extremely low.
Habit number 3, you're procrastinating with Brendan Burchard.
You're more likely to do something if you have already prepared and stepped it through. You're already more likely to do something if you already prepared and stepped it through. What does that mean? It means if you want to not procrastinate on Monday, Sunday night, I want you to sit down and do this simple little thing. Project plan. I know it's not sexy. please don't make fun of me right now. It's not sexy. I know it's not sexy. And it will change your life forever. The day before, the days in which it's required that you really get stuff done, I want you to sit down and project plan. I don't mean tomorrow write down your to-do lists. That is one element of project planning. But I want a bigger picture. I want you to be thinking about the big projects that you have coming up. And I want you to have written out these steps that it's going to take, the big steps that it will take to accomplish this project and this project and this project, with a timeline for each of them. And then work backwards from that to create tomorrow's to-do lists. But here's what's funny. Listen to this, if your mind can't see completion, if your mind cannot see completion, meaning you don't know the path, you don't have clarity on the path to fulfill or complete something. If your mind can't see the steps, your heart will ask to pause. If your mind can't see the project through the completion, your heart will ask to pause. Even if you're the most passionate, dream-oriented, amazing high performer in the world. But you yank away someone's clarity, no goals, no growth. No clarity, no change. And so if you find yourself procrastinating, it might not even, you might be like, but Brendan, I hate myself, I procrastinate, and I even know the next 3 things I should do. I go, not enough. Knowing your next 3 steps is not enough. Your mind needs to see all the steps through to completion. And that's what we call project planning. It's not super fun, but it's saying, okay, this is the big project. Here are the big key activities, the big buckets of activities that would have to happen to get it done. Here's the timelines those big buckets have to happen, okay? Then these big buckets of activities, those have to be broken down into tasks and then into, ultimately, daily to-dos. And if we don't have that, it's just hard to act when you don't have a complete picture, right? You're kind of like procrastinating. Let me give you a metaphor. They've timed people about how long it takes them to complete a puzzle. So if I show up at your house and I give you a big puzzle box and there's 400 pieces in it, and we set it out on your table, and we watch how long different time periods takes to complete it, the fastest, most productive time in which people are putting puzzles together? The last 20%. Have you ever done a puzzle, right? You might walk by it 3-4 times for a couple of weeks, you don't do anything, you put a few pieces together, but as soon as the picture becomes a little more clear, guess what you do? You hunker down and you complete it, don't you? That's what's going on with procrastination. Even if you see the first couple pieces, it's just like if you can't see where it's going, your heart will go, pause. I'm unsure. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. That's just how we think, right? That part of our brain that is trying to protect us, that part of our heart that says, I want to do good, I want to care for other people and do things with excellence, all of a sudden those are compromised when we don't do the most basic thing. So if there's an important project you've been procrastinating in, do yourself the greatest gift I can give you today. And that is tonight, sit down with your journal and step it all the way out. Even if you have to make it up. Even if you're like, I'm not sure this is actually the big activities, it's not about having the perfect project plan. It's having one that is completed at least the knowledge you know now. Because then your brain will go, okay, let's get into this and keep making this thing better. But your brain won't get into it if you haven't project planned. So this is really important. What I do to avoid procrastination each week is every single Sunday, for me that's my Sunday review days, Sunday work days, I'll sit down and I'll literally step through the entire week of all the major things on my email or on my to-do list. I'll think about the bigger projects and I'll just kind of step it all the way through. And guess what? I enter the week more engaged, more joyous and confident because I know what the heck is going on. So if you keep procrastinating, I promise, if it's not lots of worry, or it's not, lots of randomness, it's you haven't seen it through yet.
All right, my friend Evan Carmichael's book. Listen, humans are built to serve. Some people are built to serve the world. Others want to serve the 25 people closest to them. but in either case, humans are built to serve. So if you're not happy right now, it's because you're not serving enough. You got to pick up this book because it's so inspiring to remind you that we're all here to contribute, to make a difference, to make an impact, and this is your field guide for that.
Habit number 4, you're on your phone first thing in the morning with Mel Robbins.
So other than the 5-second rule, there is one habit that I have adopted in the last 3 years that has fundamentally changed me as a business person. And it has also changed my ability to manage my emotions so I don't get hijacked. I do not allow my phone in the bedroom. I know the research. Deloitte just did a study based on phone use alone, and 33% of people are reading emails in the middle of the night. I know that if you go to bed and the phone is right next to you, right? So you go to bed because you need your phone. You know, somebody might need you. And you sleep. You know, if this is right here and it's not closed and the blue light is on, they've done studies where they have people at a table and the researcher will put their phone on the table. Not even my phone. The researcher's phone, and the brain lights up like crazy, just with the presence of a phone. The research around the phone and sleep is so stunning that if you were to adopt one radical thing today, other than the 5-second rule, try putting your phone outside your bedroom, turn off the bzz, 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 so you don't hear it. Tell people who need to reach you to call you. My kids, I have a kid in college, a kid who's, high school, kid in middle school. If there's an emergency, call me. There is nothing happening on your phone at 2 o'clock in the morning that's important. But if you allow yourself to become a tool of this is supposed to be your tool for selling, your tool for communicating, and we're all becoming the tool. Here's the other thing, common sense-wise, that I want you to understand. You wake up, the alarm goes off. What do? Whoop! So you're not even vertical, and you're reading emails. And what is in these emails? Other people's crap. If you don't have boundaries with this puppy, it's going to impact sleep, it's going to impact how much money you make, it's going to impact how much self-control you have. And so when I put this thing outside the bedroom and I wake up, I walk over to where the phone is, it's plugged into my bathroom, I turn it off, I don't look at it yet. I give myself 5 minutes. 5 minutes before I tune into the world to actually tune in up here and say, what's the one thing I'm going to get done today that really matters to me? If you're the kind of person that feels like you don't have control over your day, that your day gets hijacked, that you can't get to the priorities, that you're always behind the ball, this one planning thing will change your life. No phone in the bedroom, turn it off when the alarm goes off, 5 minutes, 5 lousy minutes, 5 lousy minutes before you tune into the rest of the world. And if you've got the kind of job where you've got to check it, get up 10 minutes earlier. You have control over this stuff, and it is so important that you take it seriously now because you're living at the slowest moment of your entire life.
And habit number 5, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is you talk too much with Simon Sinek.
Nelson Mandela is a particularly special case study in the leadership world because he is universally regarded as a great leader. You can take other personalities, and depending on the nation you go to, we have different opinions about other personalities. But Nelson Mandela, across the world, is universally regarded as a great leader. He was actually the son of a tribal chief. And he was asked one day, how did you learn to be a great leader? And he responded that he would go with his father to tribal meetings. And he remembers 2 things when his father would meet with other elders. 1, they would always sit in a circle. And 2, his father was always the last to speak. You will be told your whole life that you need to learn to listen. I would say that you need to learn to be the last to speak. I see it in boardrooms every day of the week. Even people who consider themselves good leaders, who may actually be decent leaders, will walk into a room and say, here's the problem, here's what I think, but I'm interested in your opinion, let's go around the room. It's too late. The skill to hold your opinions to yourself until everyone has spoken does 2 things. 1, it gives everybody else the feeling that they have been heard. It gives everyone else the ability to feel that they have contributed. And 2, you get the benefit of hearing what everybody else has to think before you render your opinion. The skill is really to keep your opinions to yourself. If you agree with somebody, don't nod yes. If you disagree with somebody, don't nod no. Simply sit there, take it all in, and the only thing you're allowed to do is ask questions so that you can understand what they mean and why they have the opinion that they have. You must understand from where they are speaking, why they have the opinion they have, not just what they are saying. And at the end, you will get your turn. It sounds easy, it's not. Practice being the last to speak. That's what Nelson Mandela did.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video? And write down in the comments below when you're going to take action on that takeaway this week. When you schedule in what day, what time, and what place you're gonna take action, you have a 91% chance of actually following through, compared to just 35% if you just got motivated but never created a plan. And when you share your plan and have accountability, you give yourself an even higher chance of following through. So in the comments below, write down your single biggest takeaway as well as your specific plan of action, because I want to celebrate with you. The reason why you are not chasing your big dream is because you're afraid that it's going to fail. You're afraid that it's not going to work, and what people will say about you and what you will think about yourself. But what's the alternative? It's sitting on your idea for years, never taking your shot because you're afraid, and living the rest of your life in regret, knowing that you had an opportunity, but were too afraid to take it. The way to not have regrets is to be always taking action. To, as soon as you get an idea, go do something about it. I had a great podcast with my friend Mark Drager a couple weeks ago, a month ago or so, where he was asking me about regret. And I used to always tell this story of, imagine you have a hangnail and how much that hurts, and it's all you can think about when you have a hangnail. But if somebody punches you in the arm, you don't feel the hangnail anymore because this hurts more, right? You focus on what hurts more, and suddenly this one doesn't hurt as much. That's how I would use regret. I would always think about whatever pain that I'm in right now, this thing that I want to do, but I'm afraid. I would imagine that this thing is going to be the best thing of all time, that this video I'm going to make, this speech I'm going to give, this client I'm going to meet is going to be the best of all time. And if I don't do it, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. For decades, I'm going to regret not taking action. And so the pain of doing the thing is the hangnail, and the future pain of regret for decades is the punch to the arm. And so it inflicts so much pain on me that then I have to go off and do that thing. And I use that for over a decade. Over a decade. That's the lens through which I made decisions and saw the world. But for the past 2 years, I haven't done that at all. I haven't talked about it. I haven't done it for myself because I talk about the things that I live. And I'm thinking, why? Why don't I do that anymore? Why don't I use future regret to fuel me? And I found that's because I'm always taking action. Because as soon as I get an idea, I do something. And so I don't judge the idea. I don't say, why me? I don't ponder on the idea. I don't just default to strategizing and thinking. I don't think, why did I come up with this? Why am I thinking about this? I just do it. You get an idea, you go off and do it. And that's been my mindset for the past year and a half, 2 years. And as a result, the breakthrough was you don't live with regret. If you're always taking action on the ideas that you have, you don't live with regret. You might regret some of the things that you end up doing, but most of the things that you regret are not the things done, it's the actions undone. Not taken. The action's not taken. You don't regret the things that you did, you regret the things that you didn't do. That's most people, right? There may be a couple things that you regret that you did, but for the most part, it's the things that you were too afraid to do that you regret for the rest of your life. And so if you're constantly doing, if you're constantly taking action, if you're always jumping, then you don't have regrets. And it's been an interesting way that I now see the world, and hopefully you can learn from. As soon as you get an idea, you go off and you do something. You do that, you won't have any regrets. If you want to change your life in 30 days for free, check the link right below me. And if you want to know the 5 habits that will transform your life, check the video right here next to me. Continue to believe. I'll see you there.